Business is going through unprecedented change at the moment, and we'll discuss many ways to take care of your business in the 21st century. So glad you could join us today to help you take care of your business with the best in the business in Australia. And Darren, Woolley, I'd like to start with you from a marketing perspective. What is the trend in marketing now?
In fact, the game today is all technology and it's all digital driven. And in fact, the latest facts or statistics show that companies will be spending, the marketers will be spending more money on technology than the IT department. So in big organisations, the marketers are now the biggest investors in technology because the technology platform is the best way, the most efficient way of engaging with your customer. Technology was in the past in the IT department and about operations. Now technology is about building businesses by using it to build a customer base.
In comment to what Darren was speaking about, I'm not going to come up with that idea unless I know that the technology is possible and it has actually a business impact to it. I'd be interested to know how the digital media side of things, though, and what you were saying with Darren before, is how that can actually affect how we advertise and market ourselves. Because I've been talking about productivity rather than the gaining of business.
And that's right. Technology applied to creating growth is the real big game changer. You know, the reference you made before, Airbnb, Alibaba, Uber, are all technology companies, but where the marketing comes in is that they've identified an audience and used technology to create a product that the audience wants, and that's where growth comes from. Efficiency is the path you take when you stop getting growth.
What advice would you give me running a business? Oh, Darren, I've got no money, I've got no budget for marketing. What can I do to help promote my business with no budget?
Well, Jacki, we both know the first thing you need to do is get a strategy. And the strategy has to be based on where your business is at the moment and where you want it to be. And this is the biggest mistake people make with advertising and marketing, is they start spending money before they even have a plan on what they want to achieve. So the first thing is get a strategy, and the strategy will inform you about what you should be doing. Is it PR? Is it advertising? Is it events? Is it social media? Is it digital advertising? What is it? And that will be based around who your core customers are. The thing that's never changed about business is it's all about the customer. It's just that what we have now are tools that allow us to reach more customers more cost effectively and engage with them than ever before.
There's a question here that, that's come from the audience that says, we've been talking about marketing. What about good old-fashioned sales and word of mouth?
Really simple. It's just doing that little bit extra. For example, let's say you're going to a networking breakfast. Let's say you're going to a networking breakfast at a race course. What's one thing that you could do to stand out? Wear a fascinator. Now, straight away, I've gone, how cool, it's a fascinator. Like, it's sort of on brand for the event, and it's just a little thing that stands out. And if you think about the mass number of messages there, and if you're anything like me, I have turned all notifications off on all my technology. Because I don't need to know that someone else has just eaten a carrot or whatever else is going on. It is about, for me, taking control over what do I want. My calendar runs my day, not the demands of everybody else. But to stand out, it's just doing that little thing different. And if you consider your competition, it's easy. If you just deliver on what you promise, you're miles ahead.
Many people make the mistake of thinking that sales, marketing and advertising are all the same thing.
Oh, I was going to ask you
right?
this. This is great.
The first thing is that everyone says sales and marketing. I have a fundamental problem with that. It's actually marketing and then sales. Marketing is about creating desirability. Sales is about maximising revenue. Now, marketers will tell you that the best way of maximising margin and opportunity is by actually being exclusive. Salespeople will want more variance and lower prices or more flexible pricing. Marketers will tell you that if you want to be successful, you need to make sure your product is and service is desirable enough that people will pay a premium. There is no point being in business to buy or create something for $1 and sell it for $1. That's called sales. Buying something for $1 and selling it for $10, that's called marketing.
Does social media, is that more important than a website?
I do not think it is. I really don't. I think Jacki and I were discussing this recently. John Loomer, who is a Facebook expert in America, he said this great quote that's always stuck in my head. It's the same one that you use in real estate, you know, don't build your house on rented land. You don't own your Facebook presence. You don't own your Twitter. You don't own your Instagram.
Or LinkedIn.
Or LinkedIn, you don't own any of it. And we've just seen significantly, I'd say in the last 18 months in particular, organic reach declining rapidly on Facebook, which has been very challenging for a lot of businesses who rely heavily on a Facebook presence. So I'm really insistent that businesses have a website because that's yours, you own that. Social media will change. It's still important. I think you should be in both spaces, but it should not replace a website.
You know, the starting point is, what do I want my business to do? How am I going to measure success? Then you get the strategy on how you're going to do it. This is not a checkbox. You know, don't think that just sit there going, oh, website, I've got a website. Social media, I've got social media. Technology, I've got technology. This is not how you build businesses. You build businesses by creating customers. This is what marketing's about. Who is my customer and what do they want? I see far too many businesses take a small amount of financial resource and sprinkle it across 20 or 30 different activities and do them all badly. Yeah. The most successful businesses pick 4 or 5 things and they do it really well.
The platform I like the most, business to business, the telephone.
Yeah.
It's a cracker because everyone else is going, let's do the free stuff because I don't actually have to call anyone because I don't want the confrontation because they might say no. But you call on the phone and you have a nice friendly conversation and have coffee is the liquid of business. The one sales tip I will give you, smile. Whether you're on the phone or face to face, smile. I am sick of salespeople who look like they just don't care whether you live or die.
Alex, I have to ask you some finance questions. One of the biggest problems or challenges in small business is cash flow. So what are some tips of how a business can help improve their cash flow?
Like it's hearing all these guys speak, they're all going, you should be doing this, should be doing this, should be doing this. Sometimes with a business that's battling for cash flow, the first question is, that all sounds great, guys, but I've got no money. And so really, I think it's with cash flow, it's understanding where your business is. Are you struggling or are you growing so quickly that you're consuming so much cash? And so if I look at the bucket that's struggling, 2 things that you probably need to look at. The first one is there's a guy called Warren Buffett, one of the richest guys in the world. He's teamed up with a private equity group called 3G Capital. They went out and bought these old, sluggy businesses. And so what they did is they wanted to create cash flow. So essentially they got the balance sheet, got the profit and loss, and went through everything, every single item. Now, normally when you do that and it's your business, what you first of all say is, oh, we can't do that because. If you go through that exercise with, we can't do that because, you're wasting your time. You won't get any innovation. What you're looking at is looking at each one of those items and saying, how can we do this faster, smarter, quicker? How can we think outside the box? How can we invert the idea to look at it differently?
What's your prediction of business?
So the outgoing Cisco CEO recently gave a presentation. He said in the 60s and 70s, Fortune 500, so the biggest companies in the world, used to have a life expectancy of 67 years. Today, the life expectancy is 15. Now that's a reason for either mergers and acquisitions or you're a dinosaur and you're not innovating. So when you think about your business as well, you need to be thinking about that 15. It's really at a point now where it's innovate or die.
So Jessica, I'd like to ask you, what's your pearl of wisdom you'd like to leave everyone with today?
My pearl of wisdom is going off the back of what we've discussed is strategy. Approach your social media strategically, know what your objectives are, where your audience is, who you're trying to target, and really put together a concrete strategy.
Look, there's 2 things in business. One is marketing and the other is innovation. Everything else is a cost. So invest in marketing, get innovation right in your business, and just minimise the cost of the rest of it, and you'll be successful.
So what I would suggest to you, this is beyond just business, is have fun. The Minister of Fun once said to me, if it's not fun, don't do it. If you have to do it, make it fun. Think about, the media that really, the marketing that really works, the social media that really works, it's fun. It's probably a cat video smashing a drink off a desk or something, and everyone's watching it and then proudly sponsored by Telstra. So have fun, enjoy. Life's fatal, no one gets out alive, so have fun, enjoy the journey.
Please keep taking care of your business. Thank you.